fiends and gentle Xenos, coming to you live from Rick Priestley's luxurious mansion. This is the #1 Tyranid shitshow on the internet, the Creature Conference, and here is your host, Mr. Pink.
Okay, just waiting for the other guests to catch up because I think they're watching this in YouTube land, which is a bit confusing. Are you there, my brood brothers? You're all muted if you're still there. Did I break everything with my... You gotta mute yourself and watch on YouTube? Paging... Oh, I hear something.
Yes, back.
All right, did that work? Did you see it? Did you hear it?
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Wasn't that pretty cool?
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so for anyone who's joining us for the first time tonight, I see many new people in the chat that I've not seen here before. That's a brand new intro that I started working on in October with Bits of Box, and we got it kind of halfway there, and then I continued working on it in just recently with Red Wet Skeleton. And together, Box did the animation, Red Wet Skeleton did the music, and that's the official Creature Conference intro. And you know what? You know I was late today? Because bloody Agent of Chaos, Symbio Joe, sends me an MP3 today being like, hey, I can't be there tonight, but I recorded this intro for the Creature Conference. I'm like, how did you know we needed an intro for the Creature Conference? Now I have to edit this video after finishing work at 4:30 and before starting the stream at 4:45. So yes, that's why I'm late today. But hopefully it was worth it.
Because he is an agent of chaos, that's why.
He is an agent of chaos. So yes, hello and welcome. This is the Creature Conference. For anyone who's here for the first time, this is our, is it bi-weekly? What's every 2 weeks? Every 2 week conversation between me, Hive Fleet Moloch, Hydra, and Flynn Hammer.
You do.
So, yeah, Marco, you want to say hi?
Hi, how are you?
Good, I'm doing well. Flynn Hammer, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Hydra, you want to say hi?
Good evening.
Good evening. And we've got a very special stream for you this evening because we actually have a plan and like stuff that we want to talk about because Games Workshop was so good as to give us stuff to talk about this week, specifically Tyranid stuff. Yeah, so sorry, I'm still getting sorted here. I guess I'll put this thing up. Here we go. So yeah, the theme for this week is the Hive Mind reacts to the new Tyranids that we saw at Adepticon in the previews. And anyone who tuned into the live stream that we did to watch along to the Adepticon preview on Wednesday night heard me, blather at the mouth. I released a different video earlier today to kind of like catch up on what we saw in the trailer, but I'm really excited to talk to you two about it. Flynn Hammer as well, because I know there's one thing that Flynn Hammer definitely wants to talk about. But let's go through it one at a time, just kind of like a high-level feeling for how you felt about what you saw, and then we will move on to talking about specific things. So, Simon, why don't you kick us off? You watched the video. How do you feel about what you saw for the Tyranids?
I was quite surprised. And on the other side, it was something that I did not foresee. So what took me by surprise were seeing old concepts revived. So that they actually took the Screamer Killer and brought it back to life was something I was not expecting.
Yeah.
Because we love the old Huggy monster, but the concept for us never seemed to really work. I think that's one of the biggest criticisms about that. The old Screamer Killer, and bringing him back basically one-to-one and making him somehow work. It really looked like it's working. I mean, 95% of the screen was black, and you can hide lots of things there. But that was pretty cool to see him. I'm a little bit torn about the new zoanthrope thingies. In the video that I saw first, it was in the morning on my smartphone. They looked super cool because they had a very weird silhouette and all those things. And then I saw them on a still, and suddenly they were not. They kind of are a weird design choice, but we can talk about that later. But I freaking love those scenes where you had those termagons scuttle through the forest, or what that is.
Oh, you're talking about the one where it's like you've seen from the side and they run by like raptors?
Yes.
And there's
yes,
like some yes, I love that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, they gave those termagons the raptor feel they always deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there was, I know, loads of space marines, but what I really enjoyed was, although it was quite over the top, was that all the quotation marks space marine heroes have been torn apart in the end. Like if I recall,
yes,
the librarian died, the Terminator with the what's that, rotator cannon, storm cannon, got torn apart, although having his looking the beast in the eye moment. Yeah, that was pretty cool, and it was pretty gruesome. Although I have to admit, I don't understand the plot. Well, I kind of understand the plot, but in the beginning, Mr. G said, "Yeah, we're taking back everything." Yeah, and taking back a planet that is in Tyranid's grasp seems a little bit far-fetched, but
yeah, that part confused me the first watch, and in the second watch what I got is that he prefaces that with, everyone is saying that we're winning, everyone is saying that we're like turning back the tide, we're reclaiming the Imperium Nihilus, and then he says at some point, he's like, it's not like we can hope all we want, hope is not going to save us, like this isn't true, kind of. But I was confused by that at first.
Yeah, I feel like he was saying that that they were kind of taking back things, and then the Tyranid place was shown with those impaled space marines. That was kind of gruesome and weird and all kinds of things. But yeah, I think the trailer had some very great moments, and probably my favorite was that I did not catch what killed the apothecary.
You what, the apothecary? What was Simon? Did you change your mic, because your mic is a little wackier this week than it is normally?
No, I didn't change anything.
Oh, I don't know. It's catching some like weird, like it might be Discord actually that's doing it. There's some weird like audio gremlins, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I did not see what killed the apothecary, and I really like that.
Oh well, yeah, we'll talk about that because I have some theories about what killed the apothecary. That's for sure. Nice. Okay, Marco, hit us, man. The for anyone who doesn't know, for anyone who's new to the stream, because I feel like I throw this around and not everyone gets it. Marco is Moloch, is Hive Fleet Moloch. Yes, those are the black and red Tyranids that got you into Tyranids and Warhammer when you saw them in the Codex and the White Dwarf. This is that Hive Fleet Moloch, the Hive Fleet Moloch. So you have been a pillar of our community for a very long time. All of us, I think, owe some debt of gratitude, not to blow too much smoke up your ass, but all of us owe you some debt of Tyranid gratitude. So with what Eddie Eccles described as the largest Tyranid refresh in Games Workshop history on the horizon, how are you feeling, oh mighty Moloch?
Thanks for the warm words. Feeling 10 feet tall now. Well, first off, I have to say I'm super glad that there's something like a passion about this whole Tyranid release that we lacked for like 10 years about. So there's something growing, and people are getting passionate about it again and looking forward to it. And it's funny because the impression I get is that Tyranids have been out of the view for many normal 40k players, because right now everyone knows which space marine units might be coming, but so many players have no idea what the Tyranids have in their army. Like, what creatures do they have? And I feel like something has changed there. I feel like many 40k players have gone out of touch with Tyranids and
Interesting.
don't know much. Yeah, don't know much about the army anymore, which is, I guess, because it's gone less popular than it used to be. First off, I really liked how cool the trailer was. Like in total, it was totally cinematic. It was totally dramatic. It was cool as heck. With a reboot intro and extra, and just as Simon said, I love the setting in the dark jungle and the Termagant scuttling by and the whole setting. The Space Marines were the heroes, but they were losing heroes, and we got a place to shine. We got a place to shine. Sounds maybe like nothing special, but for Tyranid, it certainly is. It's been a long time. Design-wise, I don't want to comment too much right now because I guess we'll talk about all the single creatures later on. But I found it a nice mixture of nods to older stuff. And some new things we saw, and I think we will get to that. But I'm totally interested to see what the design team has come up with. I hope it isn't only pandering to the old guys like the Screamer Killer was. But I think I saw enough new stuff to be really hyped about the whole thing. That's my take.
Sweet. Okay. And Flynnhammer. Flynnhammer, you got to do it, man. We're all waiting for it. Are you ready?
Yes. Strike time! Strike back.
Sorry, what was that for those in the back who missed it? Maybe slow it down a bit.
Tyranid strike back. Strike to meet you. I've got those.
You mad old bastard. So Flynnhammer, what was your favorite part of the preview?
I enjoyed it, but it was more of it was so dark you couldn't actually make everything out. And with those wings and the arms, I'm hoping it's more customizable options, and I'm hoping it's not hooves on those feet. It's actually claws. Apart from that, brilliant. Just it was too dark to see anything properly. But I do like the mess.
The thing that was the Tyrant.
It's too small
are you
for
trolling
Tyrant.
him? This is actually something that I want to talk about later. We can talk about it now, or we can talk about it later. But the question of whether that's a Shrike or a Tyrant, I hadn't actually considered that until very recently, and then I was like, wait a second. So what else, Flynnhammer? Talk to us about other things other than Shrike.
The Screamer Killer looks good. I do like the fact that they've shortened the claws, the arm, made the arm longer and shortened the talons down on them. But it was too hard to make anything out. Also, there was one bit I just found hilarious. You know those weird things with the tentacle mouths?
Yes. Yes. I think that was supposed to be a gag.
Yeah, because they just looked up like, what? So,
yeah. So the things that I would refer to as Magistrants, because that I think is what people were talking about when we got that weird rumor about a thing called a Magistrant that looks like a Pyrovore and a Venomthrope. Yeah, they did that one scene where they zoomed down the row to them, and they both looked up like, us? You caught us red-handed? What? And it was just so it was so comedic. I couldn't help but laugh, but I don't know. It's just it's cool because I think those units are kind of we haven't really understood why we need them yet, so they're still kind of a joke.
I think they're just feeder organisms.
You are so used to seeing those ugly space horrors. I think the scene was meant as a more than anyone else, horrible.
Yeah, because one of them does have a space marine in his mouth.
You just desensitized, trust me.
Yeah, good point. No, but I got a same weird feeling from that scene.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you wanted to note, Flynnhammer?
It's just that on what we think is the Norn emissary, it looks like that carapace actually opens up and closes, and I don't think we've really seen that on a Tyranid before.
Okay, well, yeah, let's get into the details of talking about the different units that were talked about in the video. But go Go ahead.
And the correct pronunciation of Emmer. What was it?
I didn't get Valrak on. I tried to get Valrak on to teach us the correct pronunciation, but I couldn't get him. Yeah, so yeah, we saw a lot of delicious Tyranid Gribblies in there. I feel like I've already broadcast my opinion on the internet, but this was more than I thought we were going to get. There was a moment where I was worried that what we were actually watching was a preview for Space Marine or something, because I'd been used to every Tyranid preview being like some Space Marine thing in disguise, and I was worried that we'd get a lot less Tyranids on Wednesday night and a lot more Space Marines, Terminators, stuff like that. So I was pleasantly surprised with how much we got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly when we saw like those videos from the Space Marine game, and all you see is like Warrior Gaunt, Warrior Gaunt, Warrior Gaunt, Warrior Gaunt, Warrior Gaunt. But this we had some like actual variety. Go ahead, Marco.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it takes a moment because we are so not used to that, huh?
Yeah. And I honestly, I didn't really think about that comment that you guys made earlier. Someone sent it to me on Instagram, but that the Space Marines were actually getting their butt kicked by the Tyranids. The Tyranids weren't just punching bags for Space Marines as they seem to be normally. So that was cool.
Absolutely. I mean, I just read Desolation of Baal actually, because the novel was so hyped for the Tyranid content. And just as you said, it's like, yeah, they're punching back for Space Marines. With one exception, there was a great Lictor scene, which was totally cool to see how the Lictor sees the whole thing through his own understanding. But the rest of the book was like, yeah, thank you.
Oh, so it wasn't the case that the Tyranids won? Because I was wondering if that was part of the when he's doing his monologue at the beginning of this trailer. He's like, we turned the Tyranids at Baal. And it's like, oh, did they really? Or is that another like tongue-in-cheek, like people say this, but really we got our butt handed to us?
No. This Imperium won, but at a terrible cost, of course.
Always. They can always bear that cost.
Yes.
Most of the Blood Angel successor chapters were nearly wiped out, so it cost a bloody big price.
Okay,
but
I gotcha.
Imperium won.
Who got wiped out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was wiped
Flynn...
out?
Oh, who was wiped out? Marco?
Yeah.
Well, most of the Blood Angel successor chapters, like the Blood Angels.
Most of them. Oh wow.
Yeah, the Blood Angels called all of the successor chapters to the defense, and they all came.
Except for the Lamenters.
The what?
Except for the Lamenters, who were invited to stay away from the party.
Probably. But yeah.
Okay, wow.
Damn. I just would care about the Flesh Terrors because they seem pretty cool.
Well, they played a major part in the book, actually.
Oh, nice. Good for them. Flynn, what's happening in the chat?
I'm just looking at the moment. Sorry. So we did get a really good question from 3RR4H, which I do want to. I think I saved that until later on once we go through what you guys think of everything.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one.
It's a good question for later. Call Me Mark goes, would 3rd edition be considered a Tyranid refresh? Because I don't imagine they released as many models as they did then.
So this was a point that I wanted to talk about, where when Eddie said that this is the biggest Tyranid refresh we've ever seen, I of course think about 3rd edition, where they completely, well, I guess that was when they maybe released the Tyranid line. They're counting that. But then in 4th edition, they like dumped all of the 3rd edition Tyranids, or a large majority of them, and then redid them for 4th edition. So those were both very large refreshes.
I think only 2 things survived that. Which were 3 things: the Termagants, the Hormagants, and Warriors. And to some degree, you can say Rippers, but
yeah, could be. All right, so I don't know. That's a really good question. Like, Marco, Simon, would you consider when they released all the models in 3rd edition, would you consider that a refresh of the Tyranid line from 2nd to 3rd?
Yes, absolutely.
I would too.
Because they changed the essential units and
Yeah,
gave the whole thing a completely new look.
yeah. I think refresh is too weak a word actually, because it was a refresh and an expansion. Because if I remember correctly, there were quite a few new creatures, like the Tyrant Guard. Anything else that was new at the time?
No, Tyrant Guard wasn't
yeah.
a 3rd edition. That was 4th edition.
No. They brought that out in 3rd.
no,
You forget
you're right.
the picnic table boys.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Nah,
So was there anything else new? Ravenous were new?
Raveners
No,
were new.
Ravenous were in third.
No, Raveners were not there in 2nd edition. Raveners came out in 3rd
Oh.
edition for the first time.
Oh,
Tyrant Guard was new.
there's something I posted in I think the general chat on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So it has someone actually went and did all the dates for everything and which editions they came out.
Okay.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
So the things that were new in 3rd is Tyrant Guard, Raveners, not Carnifex, Old One Eye, and the Red Terror.
Old One Eye and the Red Terror. Okay.
Okay, so not as much as suspected. Then Simon, you're right. It's a refresh. It was a refresh. Although the word wasn't there at the time.
Yeah, well, whoever wants can keep the cookie.
Yeah.
5th technically is a refresh because they added in loads of new units.
What was in 5th?
5th was the Turbigon, the Hive Guard, the Venom Thropes, the Pyrovores,
all that
the
stuff.
Trigon,
The Chapter House stuff.
the Swarm Lord, and the new plastic gargoyles. Yeah.
I honestly don't care if it's a refresh or if it's a redesign or whatever. I think that no, because it's just what are we doing here? We're trying to eyeball what we get, in this redesign, refresh, whatever we call it. And by comparing backwards, we won't find out what the future will bring.
No, and it is the case that we can like count like pennies and bananas or whatever about, oh, well, actually Games Workshop released 5 Tyranid models in this wave and 6 Tyranid models in this wave. And that's relying on the fact that they've considered all the data that we're trying to consider when they said, this is going to be the biggest refresh Tyranids I've ever seen or whatever. So who knows? It's probably just marketing speak.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm going at.
They won't count as thoroughly as we do right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, but maybe, when you think about the what we considered a refresh, a redesign, was 3rd edition, right? They changed complete look from 2nd edition to 3rd edition, and what they did was they made the Termagants look how they did, and they changed the warriors the way they from they brought them up to date. And we have the Termagants now. And I'm really hoping for new warriors as well.
That would be shocking.
And that would mark me as a redesign, because that would be the similarity between 2nd edition and 3rd edition. And we have new Termagants. Now we just need new warriors and other beasties, and then it would be for me something completely new, because I try to go back and think about how I started with Tyranids and how this all happened. And I didn't have the time to look up the White Dwarf, but I looked up the date. So apparently the 3rd edition Codex was released in Germany in 2001. And that was when I fell in love with Tyranids, because there was the announcement for the new Codex to hit, and they had on the last page, they had pictures of the warriors and the Termagants, and that was when I saw that very picture, I said, I know I want to have this. I need to have this.
Fantastic.
And this is one of the most influential images for me ever, and I wanted to look that up and see if I can bring it up, and maybe I have the time later. But if they're kind of halfway there, with the Termagants. Now I need new warriors, and I fear I'm sold again.
That would be great. Yeah, some people like commenting on this, like since the video dropped, have sent me messages, like really lovely messages on Instagram saying like, I was thinking about getting back into Tyranids. I wasn't sure. And then this happened. I'm actually really excited. And some people have actually noted that they're like, this makes me feel as excited about Tyranids as I did when I first discovered them, or like when I first got into them. So that's kind of like what your stories reminded me of, Simon. And I don't know. I don't know that I've really felt that excited about NIDS. For me, reflecting back, I feel like it was that the 4th edition refresh when they like took all the stuff that they kind of like mailed in third, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do this again. And they did it again. And then I was just so amazed because we had just gotten new Tyranids in 3rd edition. And all of a sudden we were getting all these new Tyranids in 4th. And I was like, what? Yeah, so I'm hoping for that same vibe again. We capture the magic. We kindle that flame.
Yeah.
So should Flynn, should we look into some more things from the chat? Or?
Yeah. So, it's one which says Jordan Hill says, "Seems like the Orcs lost Octarius. Now Krypton is paying for his poor decisions."
Oh, to the Nids?
Yeah. Well, they in the lore they did lose to the Nids did win. I think Octarius because I think Gazgul decided to palm off. But I will defer to our resident lore expert of Bargeist.
Is Bargeist here?
See what he
Not sure
does.
if Bargeist's here.
I haven't seen him yet, but when he is summoned, he does appear. John Wilson has said, "I am surprised no one called the tentacled mouth ones mini Haruspecs."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jordan Hill goes, "My dad did that. Dad did. He thought it was a mini Haruspecs."
Yeah, nice. And that's could be be it because you said earlier, Flynn, they look like feeder organisms, which is like what the Haruspex is, what the Rippers are, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so most of the late stage toxic guys are the venom throats and stuff. They are feeder organisms to help digest the planet. Call Me Mark said, I assume they weren't showing more in Space Marine 2 because they aren't going to be using the new minis and didn't want to spoil anything."
Yeah, I was wondering that if they have like they're using the new NID designs in Space Marine 2 and they couldn't show them yet. That'd be neat.
That's
Hope so.
From that, I remember we did discuss about the designs they had for them when they first came out. And
Space Marine 2?
so when you mentioned Space Marine 2, something clicked, and I went and looked at an image for the Hormigans.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they looked like?
I remember they're a little more detailed. I think they had section tails or something.
Section tails like this one, ridged neckline as well. They
Oh,
look
like the
very,
Termagant.
yeah, it's very similar, but the tail was a lot longer, and these are a lot slender.
Can you see that?
Tasty.
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah, do you want to
copy.
send me a picture in the chat or whatever, Flynn, and I'll put it up?
Yeah.
Oh, Simon. Oh, nice. Oh my God. Jess Goodwin greens. Bring it down, like put it down a little bit, a little lower, Simon.
Like this.
Oh man, that's. Oh no, sorry, a little too closer to your chest. Like, yeah, perfect. Oh man, we didn't get a cool thing like that. I don't think that's beautiful. So that's the green for the Tyranid Warrior.
Yeah. This is so cool. This is from December 2000.
Yeah.
And that was what sold me on that. When I saw that, I was like, "What is this? I want this."
Yeah.
And, it was an amazing white dwarf. They had the construction rules. They had orcs and goblins and oh shit. Looking through those, like, look at that. Like all those.
Oh wow. Flynn, are you sending it through? Where should I find it?
I've sent it in the chat for the Eurostream voice channel and in the sign-ups original 4 as well.
This article
There's the
made me
chat.
spend like 200 currencies back then on pipes, because I saw that like they cut pipes into halves and build part of the table with that, and I wanted to have a complete dungeon tour.
Oh, amazing! Yeah.
So I bought all those rain pipes.
Okay, here we go. Good find, Flynn. Yeah. Sorry, go
To be
ahead.
honest, you
Yeah,
probably rain for it.
I actually had that 3-up warrior model from just in my hands, and it's huge. When you say 3-up, it just doesn't sound like much, but
Like bigger than a tyrant.
Yeah, they're much bigger. Of course, much bigger. Like a Titan or something, like a mini Titan. They are huge.
Okay.
So
hold your breath.
What?
Just from a time back. So this is the Codex release. That was a month. This was the pre-order. Pre-order the Codex, and 3 warriors and 16 Gons.
$50, €50, €60.
It would translate to around 35 euros.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I know when Warriors came out, they were $32 Canadian, and then a box of Gaunts was $32 Canadian, and I think the Codexes were around 20 or 25 or $30. Certainly.
Yeah, but here it says the Codex Tyranid deal was 76 German mark, which would half. So it was 33 euros.
Wow. Good deal. That's inflation, baby. Yeah, but that's like 23 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Still.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
Let's not get sad about that.
So as I am about that, so.
No, I'm excited about that. No. I'm getting sad about the price difference.
Jordan here was asked, what is 3-up?
Oh, Marco, you want to explain 3-up? For new folks who didn't have to deal with it?
He's on mute.
Sorry, I'm wearing
Marco, you're on
my
mute?
dust mask right now. Yeah, of course, it's short. It's part of the old casting process, where the original sculpt of the model, which was handmade back then, no computers or stuff, was sculpted and 3 times the size of the actual model that was released later on. So the 3-ups were usually done in green stuff and a couple of mixed medium stuff. They were reduced for factory production. Don't ask me how it was done, but this resulted in the original models, the 3-up original sculpts, being huge. Like I had the Gene Stealer and the Tyranid Warrior in my hands, and the Warrior I remembered like a bit smaller than a Warhound, but huge.
They had a weird stylus, like a pen kind of thing, which was an arm that translated over to a smaller arm that would do the engravings, and so they would etch the they would go over the surface of the 3-up, and the arm would translate that 3 times smaller, and then the 3-up would be etched 3 times smaller into steel.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, so basically any old plastic models had to have these 3-up sculpts to begin with. They're called 3-up because they're 3 times the size of what the model would come out as. So like the old Cadians that only got released recently, they would have had big, giant Cadian 3-ups done to be able to make those plastic models. And I have a picture of the Carnifex 3-up somewhere because it was, of course, a plastic that was made with the old process. And you say the Warrior was huge. At Carnifex, like you must have been able to put a leash on it and take it for a walk as a dog. So yeah, that's the old process before they did CAD sculpting. That's a really good question.
Boyd Murdoch has arrived.
Boyd, good to see you, buddy.
He actually says, if you have a look at the collector's edition of Space Marine, it comes with a resin model of a Space Marine holding up a Hormigant, and it
Yeah.
looks like a new Termagant.
Ah, so maybe they did preview us the new Hormigants, and they just didn't tell us in the Space Marine preview. Also, Marco said that he was hoping for redone Warriors. I am not expecting redone Warriors because we got that recut sprue recently, but it is the case that the Warriors and Space Marine look different. Every single one of them looks like what we would call a prime now, like with their head carapaces and stuff. And oh, sorry, we haven't explicitly talked about it, but I put that picture that Flynn was talking about up here with the Hormigant, and you can see like a kind of a very long, slender section tail. You can see a lot of detail on the neck, and it's a very long neck. Yeah, so maybe I don't know. It doesn't have the back hunch that the Termagants do, but maybe they're completely different. They're going to be very long, very lithe. That would be cool.
I remember we did discuss it at the time of potentially these could be future designs because this got released quite a while ago.
Yeah,
But we were like, oh, no, maybe not, because I think it was at the same time they had the whole Parasite of Mortex release.
it was shortly after that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was
We
like
were like, oh, the
November.
Codex is already out, they're not going to redo these or whatever.
But when I think,
yeah,
for
go ahead,
example,
Simon.
when you go about the segmented tail, that's a pretty obvious place that needs to be changed because like having such a blank spot on any model almost seems forbidden nowadays.
Oh, especially with contrast paints.
Yeah.
I was thinking of recasts.
Oh, there's that too. Okay, so should we this was a good we've had a bit of a chinwag here. Should we get into the stuff that we saw in the video and go through them one by one and talk about how we feel about the designs?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get rid of this Hormigant. I'll hide this guy for later. The first, well, I don't know what the first thing we see is. Let's start with the Screamer Killer. Wait, does anyone want to start with a particular one? Does anyone have a request? Or should I just pick them?
No, just go ahead.
I was
all right.
Let's go through it as it went.
All right, I'm gonna go from least exciting to most exciting. That's how I'm gonna do it, which is gonna tell you some things about what I'm exciting and most exciting. So I'm gonna start with the Biovores. So we got a glimpse of something that could be a Pyrovore, it could be a Biovore. Seen in profile, there's two of them. They've got kind of like a big bulky cannon up on top. They've got gaunty looking heads. I think we saw them actually firing, but they looked like they were firing kind of like lasery blasts, so I don't really know what's going on here. Yeah, not a huge, we didn't get a really strong look at them, but I put up a screenshot of one of them from the video here. Did Simon start last time? Marco, do you want to start on these?
Yeah, no. I agree with you. It's not really catching my inspiration or something. I mean, they look like Biowars. I can't see much about the design. No idea.
Yeah. Oh, I want to note that
I really hope
do want to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to note that likely the renders that we saw in this video are not the same renders that are going to be produced from the models. I don't know that if we saw the Termagants in this video, I don't think they looked quite as good as they did in the finished model. So it is my hope that some things in this feel maybe a little like rubbery or a little like bloaty, and it's my hope that in the final designs they're going to look different.
Yeah, well, I'm very sure that we get design clues from the video. The Screamer Killer will look like the Screamer Killer, absolutely.
Yes.
And I guess the same is probably true for those Biowars. Actually, I think Biowars, with the arrival of the bigger artillery pieces, should be pretty much extinct these days because they had
you mentioned this before.
Yes, when the armies were smaller and models were smaller, they had a role. But right now, like a small mortar, they don't feel too exciting in an army which could have a bigger artillery piece, which is just more interesting for today's
Well,
sale.
I think spore mines can still be fun, right? Like the Biovore is the spore mine distributor, like launching the spore mines across the field, and spore mines do still have like the psychological impact. They recently had to change the rules for spore mines because they were too effective, I think I heard. So
Okay. Well, they say the spore mines coming out in summer are going to be bigger, so use a bigger artillery beast and everything is fine.
true, yeah. Simon, how do you feel about the Biovores that we saw in the video?
I don't know. It's not very exciting, but right now, looking at it, I'm not sure if it's a biovore. Isn't one of
Okay.
the bigger Tyranofex thingies looking almost the same like that? Like having a
Like the
weapon.
exocrine, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the gun over top, you're right. The exocrine does look kind of like this.
So I'm not sure if it's a biovore. I in all its goofiness, it always had a place in my heart. I never fielded one because I never had the spots left, because the Con effects would have been the most obvious choice. But I demand that whenever you play that and you shoot it, you have to say plop, plop.
Nice.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Of course. That's how you get the psychological effect on your opponent. Blop, blop. Will you stop doing that? No, I will not.
In German, this sounds so scary, you have no idea. Look. Just shit my pants.
Blop.
Okay, so not a lot to say about the Biovores. Flynn, did you have anything you wanted to mention about the Biovores? Or Pyrovores, whatever these are?
My only gripe is, I've said it earlier, I don't really want to dwell on it. It's just from the way the cinematic was, it was great to see everything, but the lighting of it was not as good as they did for the 9th edition one, where you could actually see like what the new Necrons were. You could see you could actually see what they were meant to be. I know the lighting makes the story more effective, but it was just.
It's also, it could be a tool to like not reveal everything right away. Maybe Games Workshop was paying attention when they showed a picture of the Parasite Amortrex and someone went, I can sculpt that, and had the STL out within a week.
But that was because it was the actual model, I think. It's like
So maybe they're obfuscating it a bit with the lighting so that it's not everything revealed right away. I don't know.
I'm going to say some filthy words out of my mouth of Space Marines. They actually identify what the new Space Marines were in there. They had the new Flamer Space Marine guy, but you couldn't really identify most of the other the Tyranids that were coming. You couldn't really identify them apart from the Termagants, the non-emissary, and the Screamer Killer. I just felt like we've waited so long. It's about another month and a half to the next set of potential stuff, but it's just. I wish
we're experienced at waiting. We've been wandering through the eons, through the dark of the void, and we're hungry, and we'll be fine. One thing, the joke I wanted to make, anyone who watched Game of Thrones, maybe this trailer was directed by Miguel Sapochnik, who got famous for directing that episode of Game of Thrones in Winterfell where you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it was probably a financial decision.
Think so?
So, for chat, Jordan always said, I believe they are indeed Biovores. Cormy Mark says, finally, Biovores will look good. Boyd says, I think they're Biovores because they fire some sort of projectile in the movie.
I thought they did. Yeah. So for me, Biovores have a special place in my heart. Like Simon says that he always loved them, but he never fielded them. I was obsessed with Biovores since 2nd edition because I really wanted, like, I played against my brother who had Space Marines, and like his friends all had like Space Marines or Eldar or whatever. And I really wanted Tyranids to be able to shoot. Like, I know that wasn't what they were made to do. They were supposed to be like running up and stabbing people in the face, and that they're not supposed to be good at shooting, but I really wanted them to be shooty. And the fact that a Biovore could like lob, I think at that time, a Biovore could shoot something crazy like 96 inches or something. Like, they were proper artillery. They could shoot really far. So I love just like hiding a Biovore in the back of the field and just like lobbing spore mines onto people, because the spore mines really like stress them out. Like if I put a spore mine down beside them, they could have just ignored it, but they're like, no, now I have to shoot that thing. It's going to come over and blow me up. I'm like, hey. So
Well,
I want
that
Biowars to be great again.
and the spore mines were scary. I mean, the Biowars for me, they all look goofy, but the spore mines were scary. Like they could
Yeah.
move towards the troops,
Yeah.
you could move towards them, you would have to shoot them and spend a lot of time wasting your shots. They were scary.
Yeah, and I don't know. I still the second edition Biovore, I love the design. I don't know why. Those weird little stick arms out front, his little happy grin, and his big gun on his back. I have a soft place in my heart.
So much, what I liked about them so much was those thin arms, which gave them a rather insectoid appearance.
Yep. Good observation. Okay, cool. So not a lot left for the Biovore. Cool. Let's get rid of it. Yes, I'm sure I get rid of it. Okay, next we're going to talk about. Okay, we're gonna talk about these Grippy Boys because everyone thought they were hilarious, except for the people who thought they were terrifying. So we got the what we think are Magistrants, or what have been described as Magistrants. I also have a bonus other piece of art for these because Games Workshop kind of like this. They didn't leak this, but like if you change the orientation of your phone, you could also see this piece of art of a Magistrant. So the top one is from the preview, and the next one down is from the piece of art. I believe these are the same things, although they do look different. That actually, you know what? That might not be a Magistrant because the back, the ridges, the spore chimneys aren't exactly the same. So who knows? Simon, why don't you talk to us about these first?
Tentacles.
You're in.
I love them for their little goofy appearance.
Yeah.
What I also like is that they are basically a visual reminiscence of the Cthulhu mythos. So
Yeah.
anyone who knows what Shub Nigorat is knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I like that they had these this weird show there. And you know, the eating with all those tentacles made me think of Dr. Zoidberg. And
Yeah.
I think that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, making weird sounds. And I hope they make the models and it's not just what's it face the Haruspex, or what is it called, the big thing that he has tentacles in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hope he's better than the Haruspex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like having a smaller version of the Haruspex would be cool.
Cool. Yeah. I agree. Marco.
Yeah.
What do you think of these?
Of course, I love the tentacle face slobbering on the ground. It's new, and I mean, if there's anything to be said about the lack of coolness about previous Tyranid tentacle faces, was that they were not animated enough.
Yeah, agreed.
With the exception of the horror specs, of course, but normally they just hang around like noodles.
Yeah, like the the Venomthrope's tentacles were not that inspiring.
Oh shit!
Oh god, don't get me started on all the tentacle assembly that the Venomthrope is. Like, bleh, it's just all hanging around aimlessly. So if those tentacles are displayed in the models just like this, like working on something, being animated and being like gribbly, I'm all for it.
Yes. Yeah, because with the Toxicrene, like the Toxicrene's big arm tentacles, they're kind of cool, but its face tentacles just look like spaghetti.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Flynn, what do you think about these dudes?
So the top one, I did love as I said, the comic relief in the cinematic was brilliant.
Hold on, wait. Is there anyone in the chat who thought that was horrifying when you saw these two things? Like, because we're all like Tyranid people, and we're like, that was hilarious. But is there anyone in the chat who is actively horrified by these? Because I can't imagine it. But maybe Marco's right. Maybe that's the case, that we've just been desensitized.
Yeah.
I'll
as soon as I see some response for chat about them, I'll read them out. But I'm getting some like Hive Delta Hydra cast vibes from the design with this the way it sounded. But that one you've said is like if you turn the phone sideways when
Yeah,
you're
to
on the
get that other one.
it's not just there. So I'd realised I had signed up to like you know they've got the 2 emails on the bottom of the website of
No, this
which
is
site
for
you-
the email. This is from the email sign up. Is where I got this.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? No.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is from
so-
the email sign up.
Yeah, so it's actually in the email when you get the sign up done.
Oh yeah, now they show it. Yeah, I got that. You can download like a background that has it in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it must have been off.
Marco,
I would
go
like
ahead.
to I would like to elaborate on why I said that we're desensitized to this. I
Yeah?
have seen, as probably most of you have in some National Geographic videos or something, I've seen enough tentacled creatures for real hunting, and it's not funny when you imagine you're the prey. I mean, those animated tentacles grabbing into all the holes, and they are really scary when you think you're a small creature and in danger of this thing. Tentacles are not
Yep.
cute, not at all.
Yeah, and
Wait,
in that second one,
wait. What?
Simon, are you going to do it?
What?
Are you going to make the joke?
No, go ahead.
The tentacles grabbing in all the holes joke? No, it's okay. I thought you were going to go for Slaaneshi content there.
No, you know, I can behave sometimes.
What?
I honestly am just pissed as hell because I dropped my zoanthrope and it broke apart in parts that I am just squeezing
No.
super glue in, and I just fucking
Oh
hate it.
no. Well, you know what that means, Simon.
What?
You can make it better. You can fix it, make it better, stronger, faster. This is your opportunity to convert.
Yeah. I converted the whole fucking thing already, and now it's broken apart, like
Oh.
a Christmas
Jigsaw?
ball scattering to pieces.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
And the worst of all is one arm has scattered and has disappeared in the room.
Throw
Oh,
a space
Space
marine.
Marine.
Yeah, I know.
Throw a Space Marine.
So Jordan Hill actually goes, you're getting cuttlefish vibes. That's what I feel like when I look at them, like Calvin from Life. And Daka Flame has arrived.
Oh, Daka Flame, welcome. Good to see you, buddy.
Dwarf, Tom Wilson says the body shape looks reminiscent of something from the card game. Looks like a flea or tick.
Yes, agreed. I feel that. Also, it reminds me, I don't know why, but they give me like StarCraft vibes, like Zerg.
Yeah,
Especially the art.
because they're top down. Because with most, at least most Tyranids, they have their heads up, and this is head down. And this is what Zerglings look like.
Okay, that's where I'm getting it.
Very quickly, Call Me Mark says had to be for a laugh. The timing was pure comedy. And Dwarf says, I got the feeling it was more horror inspired, but wasn't really scared of it. And they say, sorry, Hydra, that's the worst. Was it? I was going to just say, I think that bottom image is.
Talking about the holes and tentacles, I'll be down on my knees here.
You know, tentacles got you that excited.
I was going to say, I think that the bottom image is the Venom Crawler-esque model with the
Oh, Flynn, you're a genius. I forgot about that. There was a rumor for a Venom Crawler-esque model.
Yep.
And that could well be what we're looking at here. So that might not be the Magistrant at all. I don't know why I thought they were the same thing, but damn. Good observation. Was that from you? Was that from chat?
That was me.
Good man. Good man. Not that it would be bad if it was from chat. I'm just saying. Just want to give the credit where credit is deserved. That's a really good observation that I didn't even think about. Yeah, Magistrant things, whatever. I thought they were hilarious. I can't describe why, but as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, look at those guys. They could be interesting, but like most things in this video, I want to see the actual model. And I love all the stuff that Marco and Simon said about, like, you know, tentacles needing to be a little more animated, needing to be a little more threatening. Yeah, like the you'd think that like Games Workshop would just put face tentacles on everything. Like the Lictor is such a hit for that design. We get like one face tentacle head on Gene Stealers. Like, let's have more face tentacles on like all the Tyranids. Why can't a Hive Tyrant take feeding tendrils? That would be amazing. Yeah, so I'd love to see more feeding tendrils on everything.
And people would love it everywhere because it's so characteristic and so typical. It's just something else than your typical Termagant lizard face.
Yeah, and it's not just like ripping off a xenomorph because they don't have face tentacles. I mean, HP Lovecraft, long dead. He's not going to sue you. Like, just get that Cthulhu magic on because we're here for it.
Yep.
So here's hoping for more Cthulhu magic in the upcoming Tyranid releases.
Always.
We gotta get Simon back on the train, and I feel like face tentacles will get him back on the train.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. Just two last bits, and then
go ahead, Flynn.
So Tyranid just said, think both pictures are the same nid, just the bottom one is bowed down. And Jordan Hill says, in the video I laughed because it was like that Togepi meme where he's like, you interrupted my banana for this.
I don't know that meme, but that is a good vibe for what this was. Yeah, it's like, wait, why are you looking at us? We're in the middle of something here. Get out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll move on from these guys. Unless anyone else has anything else they wanted to share.
No.
Okay. Ditching them. Yes, get out of here. What else? What is that? Okay. Let's get a bit of those are the I'm gonna make Flynn wait for it. We're gonna go for this with a side of again, there I assumed that certain creatures in this video or certain shots in this video were all the same creature, but I guess they could be different creatures. But we got these two stills that I believe are the same creature in my head. I think this is a Lictor. This looks like a possible Lictor. However, this also looks like something that someone could misidentify as a Broodlord.
Oh, there's way too much. Yeah.
Marco, start us off. You're our Lictor man.
I don't know. I think it's the Lictor because of the way it detects the medic. It's just so typical and so so iconic. And
because have you seen what they wrote on the official page?
What was that?
Yeah.
I actually went to the official community page.
Look at this guy doing research.
And they did they said there so like the top 8 moments of the trailer.
Yeah.
Ranking off their own, jizz, and they said that there's someone more sneaky than Snigrod.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that would be a Lictor, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, it's a Lictor, and everybody knows that it's the one creature that I've been waiting decades for to finally get a proper version.
So it must be very hard for it to live up to your expectations.
Yes, well, what I see is, I don't know, obviously I cannot judge anything at all right now. It was interesting to see that it seems to have teeth and feeder tentacles on it.
Oh, I didn't see the teeth. Oh, I didn't notice the teeth.
Yeah, I think it looks like this, actually.
Yeah.
And I like that the top scything talons have like ridged edges, like teeth, not just this a smooth blade, which is something that I find totally cool. And I actually painted this on my Red Terror many years ago. I did not like that it seems to not have his hands in the middle limbs anymore. These look like small dagger-like scything talons, and I really want my Lictor to have hands to just be more sentient, be able to grab prey and to examine it and take its skull to suck it out and for whatever. If that was the case, I think it's a solid miss with the middle limbs. Well, it's easily corrected, of course, for us all converters and kit bashers. But Yeah, that's
So
what I saw.
I gave that some thought, and I wondered if it wasn't the case that when they were animating this stuff, they picked the weapons that were easiest to animate. Like maybe it's not the case that if this is a lictor, it's only going to have a bunch of scything talons. Maybe it's the case that these animators were like, huh, we could give it fingers, or we could just give it more claws to stab people with. I don't know.
We shall see.
I'm not sure. Well, please get me in line here. Is that the picture we're looking at the upper one? Is that from the scene where the apothecary gets taken out?
I think it's just after that, but no, maybe this is a different one.
Because I looked at the scene.
So the bottom two are definitely from the apothecary. The middle one is the apothecary's tool trying to cut through an arm, and the bottom one is the apothecary shooting at the lictor-like thing.
Yeah, so I would, you know, the lower one having like the feeder tentacles mouth part really is like I think a squid, which has its tentacles around its mouth, which would be kind of an interesting thought to be, but I don't see that this will translate into a miniature. But I don't think the upper one is a lictor, because I think, to me, the whole body composition, I cannot really point out why, but it looks to me like all the Brute Lord conversions where they took the Deepkin.
Yes, I agree.
And,
yes,
and this pretty much looks like it.
Interesting.
Yes.
And
I got
a horn on its forehead, if I see it correctly.
It has a horn. Yep.
Yeah, so that doesn't really look like a lictor thing to me.
No, and Flynn Hammer said this before with the Magistrants or whatever looking like a Hive Fleet Delta creation. This to me looked the most like a Hive Fleet Delta creation. Well, no, not the most, but
I'm going to slightly disagree with you guys on this one, and there's one reason why. Nick, could you just expand the top image a little bit for me, and it makes it easier for me to explain why? Yeah.
Okay.
It's just to follow the arm, the top arm on the Tyranid.
Yeah, it does have a lictory kind of Z pattern to it.
But no, it's not just that. It's actually got the spikes coming out of it.
At the bottom
that are actually on the bottom part of it in their actual arm, which is there. And the hand, to me, resembles the second edition Lictor claw, where it has the one spike coming out in the middle.
Oh shit!
Oh, that'd be cool.
Correct. I do agree with what you guys are saying. There's too many other bits that are different, but again, it's just the way the trailer is. But it just got quite a few bits, and I do actually want to highlight what Kajan is saying. Is I believe it's a Hormigant, because it's like the scale of the
Kajan thinks
Space
it's a
Marine.
Hormigant?
Because it's the scale is smaller than the Space Marine that it's fighting, so at the size of a Gaunt standing up, and it makes
I don't know. It looks pretty big to me.
sense for it to be a Gaunt with that sort of thing. But the only bit is to play devil's advocate to Kajan is you've got the spike there, which wouldn't be on a Gaunt.
And well, if it was an old second edition Hormigant, it would have a spike.
Yeah. But
if they're going also, real old school.
Another bit from chat.
Yep.
The Alpha Legion is starting to take over as we have an Alfarius here.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, there's an Alfarius in the chat. Oh, hey. Hi, Alfarius. Would you like to talk to us about your Lord and Savior, the serpent, the Hydra, whatever the heck they call it?
We have one already, though.
We do have a Hydra here. Yeah, you're gonna have to fight for dominance.
I am the same.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh, there are two.
He's also Alfarius. Uh-oh, now we're toast.
No, I am the Hydra.
So I think I've said this before, but if I ever had Space Marines, they're going to be Alpha Legion.
Good, because
so I for one welcome our Alfarius oppressors.
They're sneaky. They wear cloaks.
Yes.
They employ loads of humans to do the jobs for them. It basically sounds like Brute Lord.
I think that was how I first got started down this thing. I'm like, hey, if I ever did Alpha Legion, I could just use, how could I use Brute, my Genestealer cultists that I've already made as Alpha Legion cultists and not have to make more cultists? Because laziness is the mother of invention. Did everyone get a chance to talk about this?
Yeah.
Simon, did you talk? You didn't talk about this, did you, Simon?
But I honestly, with the picture you're showing, there's not enough for me to see to really make out or make any comments on the design. I would say that they're going to make a lictor because it's more sneaky than Snickrot. So who could that be?
Yeah.
And we will see. I will patiently wait and take the bits that I like and do and change the rest.
That's that. You can take that as read for like every Tyranid, but yeah.
That's how I approach the whole release, except for the Termagants.
You like them? Well, we'll get to those. Those are. I
Yeah.
thought we'd do those last because they're actual models that we can actually have a conversation about. So I guess I should keep moving because we don't want to get too late. Okay. Yeah. So for this thing, I think this is a lictor. It does look a lot like a Broodlord. There's elements to it that are unlictory to me. The scything talons, it looks like they're in the normal upper arm position. I want them to be higher, like on the shoulders. I always want my lictor talons to be on the shoulders. I'm with Marco that I really hope the lictor has rending claws or something like rending claws. I did like the weird tentacles we see here and how they're kind of like expanding like an octopus and like grabbing the dude. But I take Simon's very good point that this does look like those conversions that people do using the Ideneth octopus. Anything else, Marco?
Nope.
Right. Next, since there's like another picture here that let's just talk about it briefly. It's not a very good picture. I'm warning you right now. Oh, wait, yes, get rid of that.
We're getting that up. Vermis isn't happy that we started without them.
Vermis, you should have gotten here on time, buddy. Oh wait, did you come at the old time because of time zone change? Because in North America we're like 6 hours ahead of the UK now instead of 5. Sorry,
but then they had to disappear again. Also, we've got Igno. Is it Pech? Peck? P-E-C-K? P-E-C-H?
I say Petch, but everyone else says Peck.
Well,
Igno Peck.
Igno Peck. But let us know how you pronounce the second part of it, because there's different bits for different people. It says Hydra Dominatus because everyone else has started to be saying they're Alfarius in the chat.
I'm actually wondering if Alfarius might be someone that we know.
Well, Alfarius says, "I shall reveal my identity," and then doesn't come back.
Maybe Hydra, maybe Alfarius revealed their identity as Igno Peck.
Or it's Barkheist, because Barkheist has now turned up saying, "Time was our ally, now it has abandoned us."
What is that a reference to?
I have no idea.
You did summon Bargeist earlier.
I know, I told you summoned him with the turn up. Why I summoned, I can't remember.
A question about fluff that I can't remember anymore.
Yeah.
Because my brain is fluff. No, but in a secret part of my heart, I hope that Alfarius is someone who, may have certain positions with certain organizations. We may have asked to come on the stream and they said, well, I can't officially. But who knows?
I don't think so.
Someone's basements.
I think someone's just being sneaky. Oh, Rick Priestley? Oh, that'd be cool if it was Rick Priestley. No, I didn't think Rick Priestley.
Nope.
Oh, Igno Peck says, "I am Alfarius." But we can't trust you now. You can't trust anyone who said that.
All right, let's keep moving. I put this thing up. This ugly little bugger. I thought this was going to be a Hormigaunt. Some people are like, no, that's a Gaunt. That's a Termagant. I'm like, I don't think this is a Termagant. I think I saw these things with claws. I think I saw them jumping on the Dreadnought. Do you guys have any strong feelings about this? It's very little to go on.
New Ripper.
New Ripper. There you go. That's a
Yeah, I
start.
have-
New Wife Rippers. That's the only thing I could think of. It looks
They
small.
said there's going to be new Rippers?
Yeah,
Missed that.
that wasn't in this stream. That's on the articles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you think new Rippers. Marco, what do you think of this thing?
I have no idea.
Simon, what do you think of this thing?
Smoke and mirrors.
Fools, it's a hypergaunt.
It's
I think it's a
Alpharius.
hypergaunt. It's Alpharius! Little
Yes.
skittering bastard. Yeah, so one of the earlier rumors. Go
Let's
ahead.
let's move forward and not look at blurry
Yeah.
whatever this is.
Okay, whatever. This could be a hypergaunt. There was a rumor of a hypergaunt. I'm getting it off the screen now. They were supposed to come in swarms. We'll see.
Corey Mark says could be Ripper, and then Jordan Hill says it's too big to be Ripper. And Corey Mark says they mentioned Rippers on the giant data card. Corey Mark.
I missed this giant data card. Where's this giant data card? I couldn't find that article. Can someone link me to it in the Discord?
In the article where they show the whole new Tyranids, but Corey Mark, I think you may have seen like a fake data card that is going around with Rippers on it because there are no Rippers in the actual data card. I saw that one on Facebook myself. The best place to get any sort of information from is Facebook.
Cheeky buggers. Making fake data cards. That's not nice.
But yeah, so I think it's either the data card section or was that the whole new 10th edition rule sets, one of them. And yeah, they talk in the article. I'll just find the wording very quickly. Yeah, don't worry, they will still come with a Ripper Swarm on the Termagant article. Yeah. So on the Termagant article, it says they will come with a Ripper Swarm. So new Ripper Swarms are coming.
Amazing.
Someone on the internet says, "Don't worry, there will be other stuff." Yeah, that's
For you to buy.
No, that's on the community article.
Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the main way to get Rippers right now is by getting a Termagant box set.
Yeah.
But if you can't,
but I really wish that they do like Rippers separate from that too, because like you should be able to just buy a Ripper box if you want Rippers instead of having to buy 1,000 Gaunts.
yeah.
But
Oh, my
wait.
favorite bit, yeah.
Hold on. Necron Warriors. Scarabs are on their sprue. There's a lot of Scarabs on their sprue. There's no way to get Scarabs separately yet, is there?
No.
Oh, that looks bad. But you can get Nurglings separately. I'm trying to think of all the equivalents.
There are only 3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, your favorite bit. Flynn, you get to start.
Yes. Just yes.
Talk to
Just
us.
yes. Just yes.
What do you see?
Because otherwise I'll be on here too long. Also, does that look like it's got 2 tails?
What? No, I think that's just light on one side, shadow on the other.
I was thinking that.
Here, I'll make it big. I think it's just a shadow in the middle. Oh my god. More grist for Marco's mill. No rending claws here. It just looks like all scything talons all the time.
Yep.
Plus wings.
I think that the rending the Scythen talons look weird.
They do look weird.
Yeah, because like the joint where they link to the arm looks weird because from what we had for now, and that was something that bugged me from the Screamer Killer as well. These are stabby weapons, and the scything talons we have now are formed as a scythe, right?
Slashing weapons.
Absolutely.
Slashing weapons, and these are stabby weapons.
Yep.
And this is probably what kind of bugged me or annoyed me. These look like the claws from Demonids.
Yes, that's a good observation.
I don't think it's. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's bad. It's just it's
different?
Something different.
Yeah, and I still want to believe that there could be things that we're seeing here that are artifacts of like the animation studio, that these might not be exactly what the Tyranids look like, but I don't know.
Yeah. Also, just noticing that second picture, it's got hooves. Disappointed.
What? Oh, damn.
But as you said, hopefully that is just remnants of the animation studio, and the actual model can have claws, or it's getting converted.
Honestly, I don't think so, because I think when you look at the Terminators and stuff, they had the artwork and they had the models in front of them, and I don't
Yeah.
think that the promotion video for the new season and for the new release is something
Yeah.
where they would say, "Oh, you have artistic freedom and you
You're
can do
right.
whatever you like. We don't care." For example,
You're
with
right.
the Marine trailer,
You're right.
they obviously said, "Here, this is what we have until now, and you can now go and make them cool." But this is, I don't see this happening here.
Yeah.
Good point.
I don't want to agree with you, but I know you're right. Thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Simon, what do you feel about this guy? Wait, Flynn, are you done? Did you have more you want to say? This is your moment. So
I'm just savoring the fact of like I was right that the strikes were back. I don't care if it's.
I think I owe you some strikes. I think I said that if they release strikes, I will buy them for you. So I will buy you this one guy and call it even.
Yay! Yay! Because I don't care if it's just the one model. I don't care if it's a whole unit. They have brought a Shrike model back. It is a winged warrior. I do not care. It is.
I think they only brought it back because you've been campaigning for it for so long. You're like, oh my god, I'm so tired of Flynn talking about Shrikes. Just give him a damn Shrike.
To be honest, I actually had sent emails into Games about it.
And like someone else in the studio is like, you realize it costs like $100,000 just to make one, like the sprues and stuff for one model, right? It's like, yes, just do it. I want this guy to stop emailing us. So thanks, Flynn.
Why are there no rules for them? Why have you screwed me over the rules? That is something else I will go on to another.
You said you wanted a Shrike. You didn't say you wanted rules for a Shrike, Flynn. Come on, you got to be specific. This is like Aladdin genie rules.
Yeah,
you have to be very specific.
I have something for another stream. It is not just NID related, it is general related, and that's why it's for another stream. I will shut up now, because otherwise I will go down a whole rabbit hole.
Oh, thank you for saving us from that. Thank you for thank you for saving that for another stream, because we won't always have really good content. So that's good content for another stream. Okay, Marco or Simon, what do you think about this winged warrior thing? What do you think it is? Do you think it's a winged warrior?
Yep.
Nope.
I think so. Even though it looks weird, the whole body shape doesn't look familiar to anything we've seen before, and I have no idea if I like it or not. But well, new is good, at least in my book right now.
Yep.
Let's
Simon?
see more of it.
Agreed. Simon, how you feeling?
I like the cinematic approach. That it
tearing it apart.
Yeah. Well, no. I like the moment where the Terminator kind of tried to pull it, like grasp it by its horns, and then it just shred him to pieces. It was not about the shredding part, but it felt like we have seen so many Space Marines being in this very moment, and then they kill the beast, and here we have the beast taking its revenge, and I really like that.
Yeah, and like the whole thing where he like shoots it with the rotator cannon, I'm like, okay, this is the part where he kills it. And it's like, oh no, he didn't kill it. Okay, great.
Yeah, and I really like that. I don't know if it's a Shrike, because it can be a perspective, but I think it looks a bit too big for a Shrike.
Yep.
So I stopped talking now because I don't want to make Flynn sad, but
I thought you were going for maximum emotional damage.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Shrikes.
I said I didn't mind what the name was. That is a Shrike in my books.
Okay. Marco.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you already said. Sorry, you went first. So I assumed that this was going to be a Shrike. It's been rumored that there's going to be some kind of winged Tyranid HQ unit in the 10th edition box set. I'm assuming this is that. However, Big Dan Cloud sent me a message. Shout out Big Dan Cloud on Instagram saying like, ha ha ha, there's a guy on Facebook or Reddit or something talking about how he thinks this thing's a winged hive tyrant. Can you believe that? How crazy. And then I stopped and I was like, is this a winged hive tyrant? Because as Simon says, it looks big. And I started thinking about how the winged hive tyrant had its profile split out from the normal hive tyrant in the Codex. But then it doesn't make a lot of sense that they would do a new winged hive tyrant, because like the wings for the hive tyrant are already in the tyrant box. It could be an opportunity to make a more like lithe hive tyrant that looks more suited to flying, rather than a walking hive tyrant with wings on it. But I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Who says
Go
that
ahead.
they're making that every new that every Tyranid thing that we see there is a new box?
Oh, that this could be like a depiction of an existing flying hive tyrant?
Yeah, like we have a
But
depiction.
the points
of
that they made to him is that it doesn't look anything like a hive tyrant if you look at the body shape.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm sure the animators get the instruction to get it really close to the models. And I'm sure the flying hive tyrant, the kit, is new and it's good, and they won't redo this one.
But Simon made a good point. I have been assuming this whole time that everything we see in this video is new. Everything that we see in this video is going to be in that box. They're only showing us models from the box. That might not be the case.
Yeah, remember the Necron video? It was just like that.
Okay. I don't remember exactly what was in it, but okay, I'll take your word.
Yeah, but it was a showcase for the new box, and all the models included.
I remember seeing a sister battle in the box.
Okay, easy there, Tiger. Is there anything from the chat, Flynn? Any more appearances of Alfarius or any other Shrike lovers joining your campaign?
Yes, and there is. Bargeist has responded to the point that we said earlier about we.
Oh my gosh, Bargeist is unstoppable.
That's why he's the David Attenborough.
Right.
It's brilliant. So Will Wallace has arrived. So hello, Will.
Hello, Will.
Carlson says, I've heard a lot of people talk about it being a winged hive tyrant. Jordan Hill goes, I think Flynn is right. It's way too small to be a hive tyrant. Will Wallace then goes, yeah, are we sure this isn't a flyrant?
We're not, Will. Good question.
Call me Mark goes, if this was a Shrike, would they would have shown more than one?
I think so. Oh, but the rumor is not that there's Shrikes in the box. There's rumors that there's one winged thing that's probably a prime in the box.
Yeah, and they did actually used to have it before, that a Tyranid Prime back at the beginning of 8th edition of the Index could boost up. Its bonuses were given to both warriors and Shrikes. But then when the 8th edition Tyranid Codex came out, Shrikes weren't in there, and warriors only gave the bonus to warrior. They only gave them to warriors because the Shrikes weren't there, so they didn't give them the bonus.
Yeah.
And there was the whole thing there. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but Blalo Blally.
Yeah.
Why do you say he has side talons? They look like warrior bone swords to me.
Oh, interesting. I feel from that top picture we have there, the way that he's striking looks like talons to me. Also, the way that when the Terminator gets attacked, you see the Terminator's face, and you see like the two like hands of this thing like embedded in his shoulders, and they have the little thumb claws on them that you would expect from a scything talon. And then he grabs onto those. So that to me looked more like a talon than a bone sword, but I guess they could be bone swords. In this picture, I don't know.
It's the hands are the weird. The hands are in the same pose as a normal scything talon pose. Because if they were,
I would say no. I would say the lower picture they're not. I would say that's more of a bone sword position for me.
But that's twisted upwards.
I don't know. Anyway, it could be.
So Bargeist, who will admit has been the whole cynical saying, is going to widely reverse their cynical attitude and assume that Nid's going to rip and tear the Terminator is actually a new warrior prime with options.
Yeah, thinking about it, I like the warrior prime idea.
Yeah, I actually would agree with that. And if it being the winged one is a strike prime, as same time
Yeah.
that Brandon Stang actually puts that in chat at the same time. Perfect
Yeah, someone
timing.
did note that, it could be a one, instead of having the prime bundled in with the warriors, you could have one prime in its own blister that has options to be winged, to be walking, whatever.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Welcome to Brandon Stang.
Welcome, Brandon Stang.
Right. Daka Daka Flame has to go because it got off to the second job. Enjoy.
Oh no, I'm sorry for the second job, but enjoy as much as you can, Daka Flak Flame. This will be recorded later.
So before I go any further there, I'm going to go back to. Actually, no, but I should say one more bit. Actually, whatever he is, I like him because it means my giant wing Tyranid warrior or jetpack warrior weren't just fun to make, but can actually be used on the table.
Great.
Now, the bit like I said about the lore bit, which we questioned about, was the Octarius section. So it says the Nids destroyed the current Orc throne world in Octarius and killed the Overfiend. At some point, I think you can say they won.
Yeah.
The Swarm Lords technically dies in the combat with the Overfiend, but it was part of a strategy to allow the Nids to exhaust the Orcs, and then Swarmy then eats the Overfiend's brain. And their favorite part is when the Nids made a gigantic bright blue Bio-Titan to lure hunting obsessed Orc into a trap.
What?
Orcs have the whole thing with colors. So
Yeah.
blackest is the strongest, red ones goes faster, blue ones
Purple ones
are
are sneaky.
lucky.
No, blue ones are lucky.
Blue are lucky, purple is sneaky, and
Yeah.
yellow are I think it's the richest.
Yep.
So why
oh,
blue? Because it was lucky?
Yeah,
So-
because having a blue beast would bring you the huntsman luck.
Yeah.
Oh my. Wow.
Guys,
Okay.
can we go on?
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
getting tired.
Yes.
Okay.
All I've got is one last bit. Alpharius has returned again, and we have a new
Uh-oh.
person here called Peter Luwakala. Says, look
Is
at
he
the
also
horn.
Alfarius?
No, I'm not saying they're Alpharius. Says, look at the horn. He got it. It's a status of it's a prime, so it's a leader sort of thing, which I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, rapid fire because we're slowing down. Okay, here we go. Big floaty brain thing. I think it's the Norn emissary that we've heard about. I think it's a Doom of Malantai. I think it's a deep cut Marco Shadow Mind. I think it's a Maliceptrix. Marco, what do you think?
Yeah, same. As everyone else, I'm totally happy to see the amalgamation of the old Sunflower Zoanthrope from second edition crossed with something new, and I wonder how big it is. I mean, it looks like it might be huge, and I heard you, Nick, comparing it to the Necron Catan shard we did last time. With
Oh no,
same
it's the Silent King.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, with the two attendants at its side.
Yep.
I would prefer something else for a big centerpiece.
Agreed.
But if it is this one, it's interesting.
Yep. Simon.
Yeah, I would stay with interesting. It's not taking me off my socks because yeah, the sunflower I like that it's kind of back.
Oh wait,
but
speaking of sunflowers. I got a big sunflower guy right here. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, son.
And no worries. I think it's super weird. The body shape is completely off. I don't know, when you go with tentacles, make more of them. Like those floaty bystanders have 4 or 5. That looks not like many. And yeah, presenting its brain is I don't know. They probably have a magic shield to protect them, but still. When I saw the
strategic
blurry
move.
versions from on my phone in the beginning, I was super stoked, and I thought that would be super cool. But then I saw the clearer image, and it was like, yeah, okay, it's a zoanthrope.
Not as sold.
No.
Yeah, it is pretty zoanthrope. I do I take Marco's point that if this is supposed to be our super heavy, I want like a big kaiju. Floating brain is cool, but like where's the giant kaiju? But I did like this. I really liked how it's presented. I like that it shows up and the librarian's like, again, theme of the video, Tyranids can kick your butt. Librarian's like, ooh, I got this. And then he's like, oh shit, I ain't got this. I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marco, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I agree. Nothing else.
And it's also the case that 1,000 years ago, before the Doom of Malantai came out, I may have heard some things about a preliminary Doom of Malantai concept, and it baked my noodle, and I loved it so much. And I always wanted some like really evil-looking Tyranid last-ditch effort brain bug, and that part of me loves this. That I feel like this could be the Shadow Mind, the Doom of Malantai, what a Norn Queen is when it comes to the battlefield. Like, I dig that. So I'm very keen to see like what this is and how it works. Flynn?
I have one thing. I want to see what the model looks like because I already have an idea of what to do. So we're all familiar with the one above all Swolthropes.
Yes.
I am thinking of doing it, depending on how big this model is, with at least with a Turbogon legs and tail. At least with that.
Or maybe because we need to get to it anyway.
Maybe what?
One moment, I'm slow. Bear with. Because we need to get to it anyway, maybe you can cross it with a Screamer Killer.
Yes.
Before we go into that, I do want to just go over chat stuff very quickly, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm probably I'm not going to say names because everyone are saying the same general things. Big floaty brain thing is awesome regardless. I see an elephant. It's a Silent King equivalent. Clearly part of this new theme of big models getting mini me attendants. Norn Emissary or the Malicetrix. Dwarfinage though does say chat is it's off the goop today. I think everyone will say it was welcome to everyone who has joined us. There's a lot of new people here today.
Yeah, so good to see you all. Thanks for joining.
11 says the crest is neat. Reminds me of the Gene Stealer cult symbols and icons.
Yes, good observation, Tyler.
While I do have this very sneaky section, I will refer us back to the very beginning where we did have, who said it? I think it was Tom Wilson, says at the very beginning, hello, don't forget to like and subscribe. Beating Diana to the punch of Diana is always the person who says it. But please do, if you're enjoying it, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and you can enjoy more of this shit show. Oh, and Peter Hampson has returned.
Oh, Peter Hampson, good to see you. Yeah, to all these new fancy people, I know that because you're commenting in the chat, you have subscribed. So thank you so much for subscribing. We do this every 2 weeks, so you can look forward to another one in 2 weeks. But please like this video because that is helpful. So just hit a like button right now if you're enjoying it. Okay, on to the Screamer Killer. Simon, speak to me about the Screamer Killer.
I loved the way the bioplasma looked in the movie. That was so cool. That was best. I'm still now that I've pinpointed it, I'm still a little bit bewildered by the way the scything talents work. It makes sense.
Taking the fight to the enemy.
Glorious.
Taking the fight to the enemy.
Credit. Is it
taking the fight to the enemy?
So like the frame moves around instead of the Carnifex moving around, so we can actually get like a view of it like in action. Oh damn, this is
taking the fight to the enemy
in action, which is cool.
Nick, can you just go
What?
full screen on just the video, because otherwise everything's too
Taking the fight to the enemy.
It was a bad idea.
No, the video is great. It's just the way
Taking the fight to the enemy.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of it. Where the heck's my? There we go. All right, let's go back to the Screamer Killer. So Simon,
Yeah.
do you have more that you wanted to share on the Screamer Killer?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, Marco.
Yeah, of course. Well, I think it's a bit cheap of them, of Games Workshop, to always use nostalgia bait to get us in again.
Yeah.
From member berries and stuff. I would like to see more original concepts, but of course it gets me too, and it's kind of funny to see how some of us, most notably Box and you, Nick, have sculpted pretty much this one over the years, and now it's getting an official model, which is all kinds of weird. Because
Well,
you were
we ripped off the original, so like,
yeah,
it's all, you know.
No,
But
you're
you updated the original, and it's an ancient concept, and normally these kinds of concepts didn't get renewals for a long time. Now they do. So well, I think you did it before them, but who cares? Whatever. I agree with Simon. I love the bioplasma. Of course, I also love the bulbous head, and I'm totally keen to see it again. I don't love the Satin Talons as well, because just as with the old one, the hugging strike doesn't work for me. It's not too cool. It just doesn't feel like organic, or as a creature would react. I'm not sure if I like the Streamer Killer as a Carnifex kind going upright again, because I was always preferring the hunched over pose with the Carnifex. Because it looks faster and more believable as a charging creature to me, like a rhino or something. And the upright charge is like, I can always imagine it as kind of silly. But I'm pretty sure the model in the end will win me over big time.
So I did get a really crappy screenshot of this thing charging, and it kind of hunches over. Like, it's not totally fully up, it like hunches over a bit. So this is it from behind.
It needs to rise up for the bioplasma to work.
Yeah.
Although wasn't it that the in the original concept that the bioplasma was made by the Scythian talents as well?
It was maybe like channeled. It was made in the inside, but then it might have been like kind of channeled by them. I don't know. I don't know if I'm confusing that with a Trigon. Bargast will tell us if he's still.
I was going to say David Attenborough will tell us.
David Attenborough will tell us. If Tyranid David Attenborough is still in the chat, he will tell us. Yeah. So for me, Screamer Killer, right up my alley. You know, I love me some Screamer Killers. I've converted a number of them over the years. I need to convert another one. I have a commission ongoing right now that I haven't got the chance to get to yet. But so there will be another Screamer Killer from me very soon. Of course, I squealed like a lady when I saw this in the video. I think I posted a video of like my real reaction when we were doing it on Wednesday night, and I was very excited to see a Screamer Killer. I need to see the actual model because, like I said, I don't know how close this is to the real model. You don't get a really good look at it, but I'm really glad they did it. Even though Marco was saying, you know, it's nostalgia bait. I think it's cool that they're doing nostalgia bait because, like, I never got the chance to get an amble, right? And well, okay, I shouldn't have said that because no one had a chance to get the amble because they released it and then they unreleased it. But like, it's cool to have those back and like see them like what they can do with the new model abilities. And I'm honestly excited to see that for the Screamer Killer because the Screamer Killer was one of my first loves for Tyranids. And I love the idea of seeing what it could be with the current plastic technology. That being said, I also agree with Marco that the scything, or was it Simon? I don't know. I think it was Simon. The scything talons are a little weird. The way they design them. Someone noted Keeley that it looks like they made the talons really short and the arms really long. Yep. And it looks like the bicep is super short. There's like this long forearm and then a tiny talon on it. And I don't know that that'll work, but I guess we'll see.
Yep.
But one thing I wanted to note, I noted this in my other video. I'll just put a screenshot Put a shot up here quick. It is that. Okay, once this big boy gets toppled by the one thing the Space Marines can kill, you get a view of the head from above because it's on its side. And it was at this point that I was like, okay, this could be cool, because at first it just looked kind of like a bulbous tube head. But when you look at it from this angle, it's got those, you can see the armor ridges in the middle. It's got the 3 holes that are kind of a little higher than they would be on other Tyranid heads, but then there's got these kind of cool rills that go out the side that look like gills. And it made me think of like more of a manta ray shape rather than a tube shape. And I think that could be damn cool.
That just reminds me of the original model. I think they were.
No, it doesn't have rails like that on the original.
No,
it's got a pretty xenomorph head shoved into its body.
No, what I'm thinking of is because of how the head molded into the body, it kind of did
stretched flesh. Yeah,
that's what it was. Also,
Simon,
I just wanted to say that it was the stretch flesh that gave the impression.
Yeah. So here are kind of 2 views of the head. Two views of the head where you can kind of see the different structures and those like rills on the side. The bottom one is a better view, but these parts made me really excited.
If that translates to the body, that would be a cool way to implement the old stretch skin design into something kind of useful.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. Good point.
Chat has some.
Flynn, did you want to say anything about this?
I do like it. It's like I do like how the arms have been redone so they fit more, not just aesthetically, because I think the old ones were actually a lot better. It's more of practical, how they actually will be more practical. Still a bit. I don't like how short they are in the video, but hopefully they're longer. But I like the fact that they're bringing back the actual side, the Screamer Killer, because I know there were some rumors saying that, and I can see this getting combined with an old One Eye as well to be.
Yeah, that was the rumor, right? That there'd be an old One Eye in this kit.
I think it was the old One Eye and Cerebro, and you did definitely.
Yeah. So what I think is that someone looked at this, they saw a big-headed Carnifex, and they went, "Oh, it must be some kind of psychic Carnifex." And then I went, "Fool! You don't know how Tyranids work. Why would you have a psychic close combat unit?"
So I'm just going to go straight into chat because quite a few points.
Go for it.
About this. So Jordan Hill says Screamer Killer could be its own kit where a normal Fex might just be with old One Eye. Will Wallace says someone on Reddit suggested the Screamer Killer could even be an upgrade sprue for the current Fex. Barkai says Sliding Talons used bioelectric field to direct. And Dan Kaplinger, who's
new Dan. To us. No, Dan's been here before.
Well, as in new to joining us today.
Oh, right.
It says, how I always thought about Screamer Killer Sliding Talons was that if I had a big kind of rotating sway as it walked, the talons would kind of work as a human scythe in action.
Yes. Like Ultralisk from StarCraft. They have kind of like a rotating gait that makes their scything talons sweep.
Boyd says bioplasma was created by rasping plates in the throat. The arms created a magnetic electric field which channeled the plasma to a blast.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You got it, Simon.
I'm going to call you Lally because it's easier to say. I apologize if you don't like it. Just let me know if you want a different way of pronunciation, and I'll do that. They look like Hierophant talons. Jordan Hill says could be heat synced for the bioplasma. Tyler says the talons may be weird, but outstretched talons are a neat shape and pose. Barco says big visible gills are interesting. Makes me think of modern Trigons expelling ionized material as a conductive medium for their electrical zaps. Alam welcome, Elam. It's the first bit of you being in today. I
Oh,
know you said hello.
Elam. Hey, buddy.
Says the new talons look more like stabby and less cutty. And
Yeah.
Barkheist said he's got the last bits of new scything talons. I think might be misnamed somewhat. They aren't generally shown as scything in terms of slice and
Stabbing
cut. They
talons.
stab in
Yeah.
which is much more dangerous anti-armor implementation, which makes me think this new Carnifex is designed to do that.
Stab?
And Lally says, I think they are meant to stab. Against the trailer have those short stabby talons too.
Yeah.
And that's the chat.
Thanks. All right, let's move on to the final thing that we've actually seen. The first new Tyranid model in a long time. I'm not going to count the Parasite Mortrax, but that was a new Tyranid model.
Right. Should we want the time frame then?
What?
I can give you the date. I mean, not the date, but I can give you the year.
What,
2014.
Was the last time we got a new Tyranid model? Well, okay, yeah. That was the last like range refresh kind of thing? Or nice. Yeah, it's been a long time, certainly.
That's not that thing I found and I put in the chat.
Oh yeah, I wanted to look at that later. Okay, so I've pulled up a picture of the old Gaunt and a picture of the brand new Termagant that we saw at Adepticon. Marco, lay it on me, big boy.
I'll be back in a minute.
Well. I prefer the open mouthed head by quite a margin.
You prefer the old head? Really?
The open mouthed head.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, this one is obviously more detailed, has more ridges, has more biceps, more muscular structure. It's obviously an evolved and more refined version, which is totally fine. It hasn't changed much stylistically. I like that the way the carapace is organized now isn't just straight lines, but it is more dynamic and more alive and just looks more believable as a feature. This is the main feature for me, actually.
Yeah.
Because I never realized it, but the way the old carapaces, also on the Carnifex, were sculpted is very artificial, actually. It doesn't look as cool. I was never a big fan of the straight tails, so the tail is a big improvement for me. And overall, of course, it's just what you would expect of the same kind of creature concepts done with new design, new technologies. I think they are going to be awesome. I wish it would look a bit faster, but yeah, it is what it is. As a trooper, I guess it's perfect for what it is.
Yep. Simon, I failed you. I should have gone with you first because I just remembered that your wish list item when we were talking about what we were wishing from a new Tyranid release was new Gaunts.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I said that, but
you did.
Apparently I did. Hive Mind spoke to me. And the Hive Mind spoke to me and said, why didn't you make them smaller? With comparison shots, so they are just a tad higher, which is fine with me. I think the biceps looks beefier, but when you compare it, it probably is very little. What I like is that they made the head smaller, so it kind of gains shoulder mass. It looks a little bit bulkier around the shoulders.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
And I really like. I really love two things about the model. So first is, and please don't laugh, it's the mid limbs.
Those are beautiful. I'm not laughing. I love them.
Because they're I just hope they come separately. I fear
they
they
look
won't.
Threatening.
Yeah, they look useful. That's
yes.
They kind of look useful. The old ones had a very hooked claw to them, which didn't appear to have any use, but they look like they could be used for climbing or stabbing or something like that. And I see loads of potential for them used in other kits.
Yes.
Looking at the Parasite of Mortrax here, the tail is not surprising that they have this ribbed structure down there. But what I really like is, especially compared to the old ones, is how the carapace is running down the tail. That
Yes.
they have those smaller segments down there. It will be a nightmare to paint all the stripes.
Yeah.
But I like from the look of the model how it's organized. Is that you have the scales or the plates starting at the head and running down to almost the tip of the tail. When you look at the old one, you had those 4 plates on the back, and then it seemed to be cut off, and some weird things stuck out there.
Yeah.
No one knew how to paint because they didn't have a ridge or anything like that.
Yeah.
But for my personal taste, I like that they have these raptor tails from the new Jurassic Park movies. I think in the original Jurassic Park, the raptors had the stray tail as the old ones have, and nowadays raptors are always shown with this hunched over pose, so the tail's up, like this happy dog's tail, and I think it's probably not a question of if it's more believable or if it worked like this. I would assume that this is just an aesthetic question, and they just took the raptor design from Jurassic Park and put it on there.
Listen,
But I like
if Vermis and Bargaster are still in the chat, I think they're both dinosaur lovers, so they'll let us know if the raptor tail is real.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, I like it, but for me, it could have been 80% the size.
Yeah.
If it would have been smaller, it would have looked more scuttlier. I said that in previous episodes, but then you could have more have the feeling of loads of little individuals scuttling around. But then I looked at the picture where the Termagant is standing next to the Space Marine dude there.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, every Space Marine is getting a head higher, and
Yeah.
the Termagants are not. They're almost the same size, so they're shrinking sort of.
By comparison, they're shrinking.
Yeah, they could have benefited from shrinking even more, but that's okay.
Okay, ever since someone told me that that thing I thought was a Hormigaunt might actually be a Hypergaunt, I'm still holding out hope that we have these things called Hypergaunts, which have like scything talons and they're not as fast as Hormigaunts. Those will be like the small swarmy gaunts, but who knows? That's actually going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for your read on it, Simon. That was really good. Anything else you wanted to add?
No. I think I'm done there.
Flynn, what do you think of this guy?
Okay, I've got a few things. I'll be very quick. One, I love the muscles on there, which is brilliant.
Yes.
2, every time they've done a new version of the Termagants, they have scaled them up a little bit, which to me makes a lot more sense, especially now with the Primaris models being a lot bigger. Why wouldn't the Hive mind react to that and make bigger basic troops and everything else?
It uses up more biomass. You don't need big biomass to carry a flesh borer gun.
That is the proper response I would have actually expected if I thought my thing through properly, which I didn't. 2, no, it's 3. The head bit, I agree, is brilliant with the whole shrinking down the head is better. It just works so much better for it. I didn't even
did that with
realize
Guard too, right? Like Imperial Guard, is this the head shrinking? Is this what we're seeing now from Games Workshop? Smaller heads?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Like they haven't really done too much to most of the model. It's just little tweaks. And the last bit is this is just the push fit version because
you don't know. They might be push fit. Don't get too far down the Flynn foil hat path, but they might be push fit. They might be multi-part.
Standard practice because they're not going to preview a model that isn't actually going to be in the starter set because they've done it. This is standard Games Workshop practice. This isn't even.
They could always change that. They could be like, why are we doing 2 different versions of gaunts when we can just make one version of a gaunt, put it in the starter set, and then sell that in a box separately, because they're doing that with a lot of the sets now. Where I
Base.
know that the history tells us that in the starter sets, they're push fit versions of the models. Non-push fit versions come later. But it was also the case that for a long time, Games Workshop would make unique sprues of models where like models from 3 different units would be on the same sprue in a starter set, but they moved away from that. They could also move away from the making a push fit version and making a multi or whatever version that goes in the box. We don't know. But if you're right, if we're going by history, like recent box sets, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm going by, because of also the Partwork magazines. They put them into that afterwards as the push fit versions, and I think they're going to go down that route again. For
Okay. All right.
I don't want to go into
chat.
too much tinfoil hat theory anyway, because that's more streams down the line. I have other things for that,
Yeah.
but I love them.
Oh, good. Anything in the chat to share?
Oh, there's been a lot. I just remembered one thing as well. Not related to these, but not related to these. There's going to be base sizing changes. Who cares?
There is? They said that?
People have done like image sizing looks at
Oh,
them.
you mean like gaunts are not going to be on the same size base as they used to be?
Top gaunt is on a 25 mil. These gaunts appear to be on a 28 mil.
So
And
I could not care less about base size. I literally don't. I just go into a box and pick the base that looks cool for the model. I'm like, oh, that's a good size to put some shit on it.
Exactly my point is what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Yeah.
There's been quite a lot of messages come through, so apologies if I don't see a name. I am just going to read out what they are. New mid limbs could be like firing support limbs. I always wanted mid limbs to have grippy hands. Yeah, new gaunts went to the gym.
Yeah, they swole.
Didn't seem to have a break between the back and tail carapace, but I'm not sure that was a hard and fast design rule. The lower legs look too much like Ossiarch Bone Reapers for my taste.
Oh, I think they're swole. I think they look like the Tyrant Guard. I love them.
I don't really see the boniness to them.
Oh, what else are we saying in the chat?
Tyranids were
Simon?
there before the Bone Reapers, and everyone said when the Bone Reapers showed up that they looked like Tyranids.
Yeah.
True.
I think the interpretation of theropod tails has moved on a bit from the stiff balance beam of original Jurassic Park era. This is Bargeist, by the way. So it seems appropriate that needs to follow suit. Yeah, love more anatomically correct Xenos. Oh.
I love that. I love saying the words anatomically correct Xenos. They are by definition freaky space aliens. I'd like a little more anatomical correctness to my space aliens. I agree. I'm with you there.
For Peter Luokala, I am going to save your question to the end with the other ones I've got there. I don't know.
That's going to be soon.
Yeah, I don't know if a dromasaur tails were thought of as ramrod style as the 3rd edition gaunt. I appreciate it because it makes for a good NID Battlefield Gothic drone conversion. That's quite good, actually. That was from Bargeist. Were JP Jurassic Park Raptors like that? Even Greg Paul gave them a bit of sigmoid curve. I think Indomitors had the same models that went into the main boxes. Yeah, Tom Wilson, you're correct. They split them into different ones. Not all got moved into those boxes, but they got sprue later on to take separately. Vermit, I think that was the art of Dino's profile that did it a lot. My only misgiving about 28mm bases, does it mean these new gaunts are even bigger? Vermis, they have shown them in the article on the community page that they are actually a bit bigger. Not massively bigger, but a little bit bigger. And Barco says, I mean, in terms of anatomically correctness, I just like they have a few useful do claws.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
I'm right there with you with, like, I'm not disparaging Xenos anatomical correctness. I like that. I think it's hilarious. And just to be clear.
Alright.
Okay, cool. So I think me, I love them. I think they're cool. I think I think that we got what the warriors got, like sorry, what the Eldar Guardians got and what Necron warriors got, which is a HD version of our existing troop type. But I think that this went a little further than the Guardians. I think that we could have gotten like an HD version of the normal Gaunt that wasn't this cool and didn't go this far. I love the legs. I think they're fantastic. I love the middle arms. Like I actually had to look at the old Gaunt and be like, did the old Gaunt have that many sections in its middle arms? Because its middle arms were so forgettable. But these ones don't feel forgettable. So I'm with Simon on that. I love the tail, that there's a little more detail in the bottom of it. And like Marco said, the carapace plates. I was a little thrown off at first that you have like the beginning of vestigial spore chimneys on the back, but that makes a whole lot of sense. And now I'm wondering why we didn't always have that. And I have always loved a flesh borer, and that is just like a sexier flesh borer. So I'm like, yes, I'm all about it. I'm already thinking about what they're going to look like as Standagons.
Oh, that was the thing I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, I got to do it. I'm going to make some Standagons out of these guys.
That was actually the one thing I couldn't remember to ask.
It's going to be great. All right, so that concludes going through the stuff we saw in the video. Thank you all in chat for sharing your feedback. Thank you, Marco and Simon, for sharing your feedback on these. But there are a couple of really good questions that came through that also kind of pertain to what we're talking about today. So let's get to those before we wrap up. Flynn?
So I'm going to go from the oldest to the most recent. So
Perfect.
we have 3RR4H says,
I call
want to
him
know
off.
I was going to be going for it, Warfy.
I don't know.
I want to know what models you guys think will or won't be replaced. So excited.
I like it. Okay, good. Marco. Oh no, you went first last time. Simon, what models in the current Tyranid line do you think will and won't be replaced?
I hope all of them. I don't think so.
You hope they're all replaced?
No, I don't know. That's a very tough question. I hope the Warriors get a replacement, as I said earlier. Like I want the HD version of them.
Nice.
And yeah, what else? I don't care for the Tyrannofax and the Tyrannocyte, but being the most recent miniatures, I fear they will stick to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. Marco, how do you feel about this question? What do you think will and won't be replaced in the Tyranid line? Or what do you hope will and won't?
I think it's kind of obvious that most of the newer kits will stay. I think the interesting kits to talk about are the Tyranid Warriors, as Simon said, and especially the Carnifex. The Carnifex is so classic that I really can't imagine the Tyranid line without this one. But seeing what they did to the Gaunt, yeah, the Carnifex does look dated.
Yeah.
And it's too small by today's standards. It's definitely too small.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was actually thinking the very same thing early on, like when we were talking about the Screamer Killer. Are they going to replace the Carnifex? And there was part of me that loves the Carnifex so much because I have used the kit
1,000 of them?
Yeah.
Like, how many Carnifexes have you built?
I don't know.
At least 30, I think.
Maybe. I never counted.
Like, of course.
I would say 20, something like that. And I can't believe, I can't think of a Tyranid world without Carnifexes. But on the other side, looking at what they did with the, I'm on the same page with Marco. Looking at the Gaunt, they could, get an update in that direction. I just don't want the Screamer Killer from the video to replace the Carnifex.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a very good observation. Someone in the chat said, do you think it's going to be a dual kit, right, Flynn? That they're going to put the Screamer Killer in a dual kit with the Carnifex, like just add some bits or something to a recut frame. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping it's
the only one I think they could put it into would be old. There's been rumors of a new old One Eye. That's the only thing I think they could put it to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's to be honest, I really do like the question because
I love this question. Flynn, what do you think
We
about this?
always
Give us some
focus on
answers.
what we think they're
Oh,
going
sorry.
to do,
Yeah.
but not what we don't think they'll touch. So just trying to think of what I don't think they'll touch. It's just Tyrannocyte is the one that goes in my head of I don't think they'll touch that kit.
It's one of the most recent, right?
Yeah, it's the more recent kits I don't think they'll touch, but because of how popular the kit has been, you guys maybe they'll touch it up. But I think,
Tyrannocyte?
yeah, because that kit goes out as that kit
Yeah.
gets back into being available after being out for 6 months, and then it's out back in after a month.
Yeah,
It's back in.
I
And a
think
month
that
again.
when that happens, I think that's evidence that they will not touch it. Why would like you don't fix like something that works? So if it's
Yeah.
selling like gangbusters, right?
But then no, but then if all of a sudden it sells out and then they get it back into stock and it sells out within a day of it getting back into stock, they change everything up again on it. So it's tricky. I think the one definite kit I definitely think they will not touch is the Trigon, and the other one is the Warriors. I think those
Trigon,
two
that's a good
kits
observation.
are
Why
the
do you
two
say
kits that
Trigon?
I don't think there's anything they can do to improve on the kit. Like
It's a pretty good
specifically,
kit.
Well,
the reason the Off-Road kit stopped being made is because they made it in plastic. That was
Yeah.
it. The design really hasn't changed. It's
Marco,
not really.
what were you gonna say?
yeah, the Trigon kit is pretty much as it's not as old as the Carnifex, but it's the same sculpting style back then. So thinking how more detailed the Trigon could look like with a new Termagant technology, it would be much better.
I feel like the Trigon is slightly more detailed than the Carnifex.
Yes, it is,
Slightly.
but not
Okay.
yeah, but not enough for today's standards.
Yeah.
I
I'm
hadn't
sure
even
it-
thought
I'm
of the
sure it will
Trigon.
stay,
Wow.
though. Yeah,
Come again?
I'm sure it will stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, I would have told you that there's no way they're going to redo Warriors because they recut that frame in like 2012 or something like that. Maybe more recently. I can't remember. When do you know when they recut the Warrior frame?
Yeah, that was the same time. So let me look. I'm just looking at Warrior on my list. 2014.
Okay, so they recut that frame in 2014. I don't think they're going to touch it, but honestly, Marco and Simon, you've won me over saying like seeing what they did with the Gaunt. Now I want to see what they can do with the Warrior. I agree with you 100%. Also, you've also won me over to the Carnifex that I was worried about like because honestly, I was not thrilled with Tyrant Guard and what's the other one, the Hive Guard or whatever, because I feel like the detail wasn't amazing. I was not thrilled with the Toxicrene. I felt like the detail was very low detail.
Yeah.
So whenever people would talk about, I want a new Carnifex, I'm like, no, don't do it. You're just gonna like, they might just mess it up and give it like this low detail of these kits. But as you say, with this Gaunt, they've restored my faith that revising these kits is going to be a lot better for them, and that I have faith that a new Carnifex could be really, really cool. Even though I'm with Simon 100%, I love it. I think it's great. I don't want to mess it up, but I'm intrigued by the possibilities.
I think the Carnifex is our one true classic in the line.
Yeah, so I
If
don't
there's
think they're
one-
going to touch it because of that. I don't think they need to, so I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to touch Warriors. I don't think they're going to touch the Carnifex. I hadn't even thought of the Trigon. I don't think they're going to touch that. As much as the Malceptor and the Toxicrene are just kind of middle of the road for me. I don't think they're going to touch them because they're new. I don't think the Harpy Hive Crone is going to get touched. Definitely not the Tyrannocyte. I basically don't think that any plastic kits after the Carnifex are going to get touched. Warriors and Carnifex are a possibility. What's that?
That is a lot of kits.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing like. I think that what they're doing is they're going to add new Tyranids to the line. I think they're going to redo all the Gaunts, which is a kind of a big deal. And I think they might redo the Rippers a bit because they have to do it with the Gaunts. But I think that if they're keeping the Warriors, the Rippers have to correspond. They can't be that different. I think they're going to add the big Carnifexes in the form of Screamer Killer and Old One Eye. I think there's going to be that Venom Thrope thing or Venom Crawler thing that we've talked about. I think there's going to be the new Prime that has wings, and I think there's going to be a box of Shrikes. That could be a possibility if they redo Warriors. They could do Winged and normal Warriors together, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'll just introduce Winged Warriors. And I think there'll be a few new models and a couple of characters. Like, I think they're going to maybe do the Red Terror and give us some more like blister characters, because when you look at the Necron line, when you look at the Nurgle line, these are like ones that were recently redone. Someone did a kind of analysis about this, and I meant to talk about it maybe on another stream, where they counted the new models that each of those factions got. And in both of those cases, the factions got a lot of special characters, like blisters, not boxes. So I think we're going to get a lot of blisters. I think those are going to be our big wave.
That's
To be honest,
way to update to sell us the next Codex in 2 years. Just
Right,
give us
you're right.
another character, and then you're good.
Also, if anyone, I just realized something, because Nids are going to be one of the first codexes. If anyone's going, oh yeah, they're going to be competitive. No, they're not. After about, we don't care about that stuff on this channel because it's more about the design. Now, do you want another question?
Yes.
So the next question. This one
I don't know if we can top that one. That one was pretty good.
Is from Jordan, and his question is, do you guys think there will be a new Space Hulk?
Yes, absolutely, no question. Oh, they're going to redo Gene Stealers. I missed that. Sorry. They're going to redo Gene Stealers. No question. They have to.
And now from this...
Hold on. No, Marco. Tell me what you think about new Space Hulk.
Yes, there will be new Space Hulk. The question is only how quickly.
Yep. Simon?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Why would they?
Tell us more.
Why would they?
Well, they're doing all this boarding action Arcs of Omen crap.
New Terminators, plastic scenery, Space Hulk, plastic scenery, and new Gene Stealers.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect storm. Like, that's why when everyone was like, oh, this is going to be a Space Hulk refresh, I actually started doubting myself, and I'm like, wait, is this going to be a Space Hulk refresh? Because it felt like the stars were aligning for a Space Hulk refresh.
I don't know. I'm not sold on the idea.
Interesting. Okay. Flynn, what do you think?
So it's not going to be Kill Team Space Hulk. I can definitely tell you that. Because they've said on the release that Gallo Fall is the last part of this set of the Space Hulk stuff. So with the new...
So it won't be on a ship anymore.
No. Kill Team won't be on a ship, but they can still go to a Space Hulk. And what I think they might do is part of the 40th anniversary stuff. Okay, I don't want to go too much Flynn Foil hat theory.
I was going to say, I'm feeling some static electricity build up here from your Flynn Foil hat theories.
All of the other rumors going around say there's going to be a Space Hulk. And there's going to be Terminators and Gene Stealers. It might be the way they introduce the new Gene Stealer kit and the non-push fit Terminator kit.
What about combat Terminator kit?
That's what I mean. They'll roll it into
combat,
one
like
kit.
not ranged, like put it with like thunderhammers and shit.
Yeah, I mean they're going to put it into one kit because with everything else that they are doing, they are trying to streamline the kits as much as possible.
Oh please! They have a whole box of guys with plasma guns, a whole box of guys with melta guns, a whole box of guys with flamethrowers. They are not really trying to streamline Space Marine kits. They're trying to bust those out into as many boxes as possible.
All I was going to say is that is more Flynn Foil hat theory of what I mean in that bit.
Okay.
And I know we're getting long in the stream. I don't want to go too much into that.
I gotta wrap it in about 10 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. And we do have one more question.
Okay.
That I've highlighted, which is from Peter.
Hold on, we should check. Marco and Simon, are you guys okay with one more question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what your timing's like.
Marco's almost asleep, but
I am.
Yeah, so it's Peter Luoke Kala, who was new to us today, from what I know, says, do you guys think they will do the same thing with Termagants that they did to Primaris, so people are forced to buy 90 new models?
I think they just did. What do you mean? How are we asking this question? I think it just happened.
So I think from how Peter has phrased it, and exactly from what you just said in regards to the Primaris of it, will be here you go. You want your termagants with Devourers. You have to buy
Uh-oh.
this box. You want them
No.
Spine Fists.
No.
This box. You want
No
to.
one's gonna buy the Spine Fist box. No. Please no.
Depends on how good the Spine Fists are, but yeah, I do agree. But I don't think they're going to do that, and I honestly think that's why I've said that they're going to be snap fit for the starter box with just flesh borers, and then they'll come out with the box of
Oh, more detailed or more like custom
With-
build, and they're gonna have the special weapons.
that's why I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay,
So that was
then.
the wait. That was the part of this Termagant preview that I completely missed the first time. We're gonna get new Devourers and new Spine Fist. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish there was Strangle Webs and Spike Rifles in there, but that's never gonna happen.
Who knows?
I wish. I wish.
They're all
So
about
hard.
they're all about second edition now. So
Yeah, come on, show me the nostalgia. Where's my Strangle Web? Where's my Spike Rifle?
You never know; it might be in the new Codex, or
That would be great. I'd love that.
you might get a ranged Lictor that we've always wanted.
oh never.
No. That feels weird. It's like putting a gun on a gene stealer. Why? Okay, cool. Any other questions, Flynn, in the chat? Any other cool stuff we should get to?
Are the ones I've picked out from today's stream? They'll be really big, big sort of questions. I thought would be good ones.
Perfect.
The other
Thank
ones
you.
would be more of a back and forth between people.
That's fine. That's good too. Thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us. There were a lot of new people in the chat. That was great. I hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed our conversations about this. It is looking like it's going to be one hot Tyranid summer. So I think we're going to have more conversations like this that you can absolutely look forward to. I'm looking forward to them. Marco, Simon, how are you feeling?
I maybe my work speaks louder than words because I finished my first Tyranid since I can't remember when.
Dude, that really
Yay.
excites me. I'm so excited that you're working on Tyranids again. That is amazing. I never thought
Yes.
we'd see the day. I honestly did not. I bought you that Parasite of Mortrex. I was like, come on, maybe I can lure him. And then I didn't think it took.
He's sitting with me right here, and he's unfinished. So this was the last, but this is the first I finished in quite a while. So there you
Congratulations.
Awesome.
go.
And I gotta say that I am painting Tyranids right now, and I am really enjoying it. And like my scheme is getting better all the time, and I have not enjoyed painting Tyranids this much, possibly ever. So this is good news for me.
Yay.
And like, I don't know. I feel like people think that I'm a Tyranid guy, and they're like, oh yeah, Mr. Pink, he's all about the Tyranids. But it's honestly the case that I hadn't really been making Tyranids for myself until just pre-pandemic. I wanted to play with a friend of mine, play Shadow War, so I'm like, oh, I guess I should make him some Tyranids because he thought Tyranids were really cool. And I was like, oh, maybe Tyranids are cool again, because like for the longest time, I only made Tyranids for commissions for other people, and I didn't really do much for myself. I was kind of dabbling in Gene Stealer Cult and like Dark Eldar and stuff, but it feels like my Tyranid love is coming back, like in a big way, and which must sound weird to people who think that I'm obsessed with Tyranids all the time, but it was gone for a long time. So, yeah,
Awesome.
this is cool that there's this release coming. We can look forward to it.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same and maybe even stronger because, I was on hibernation for 10 years and had nothing to do with 40k or nearly nothing.
Yes.
I feel like the Tyranids hibernated with me.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
all the releases in between, or most of them, were very lackluster.
Yeah.
So I really hope and I'm pumped that we finally see some proper stuff this year again.
Yes. It's gonna be great. All right, dudes. It's an exciting year ahead. I can't wait to experience it with you.
I'll only got one thing I want to say.
What's that?
It feels like, have you seen Toy Story 3 where they go?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Have you guys seen Toy Story 3?
No.
No.
Okay, never mind.
I watched one. I maybe watched. We're old, Flynn. We're old.
It's been out for like 6 years or something.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're old. We were too old when it came out. We're like Toy Story. Yawn.
Flynn, I saw
Wait,
Alien. I saw
okay.
Alien cinema. Can you believe that?
You saw Alien in the cinema?
Yes.
Oh,
I did
shit.
not know that. Wow.
Yes.
I was just going to be, it was like, the reaction is, yay, new toys! Is basically the reaction we've all got here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Good one.
And Kaji does reiterate the like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified about new and upcoming videos on modern this channel.
Yeah, I'm like making videos like a demon these days. Definitely make sure, well, I know if you're commenting, you're subscribed, but if you're not commenting, if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. We will be having way more conversations about Tyranids. We're making way cool videos about analyzing design, giving feedback on them, talking about conversion possibilities. If you like Tyranids, you're in the right place.
Just
Because
wait
we
till
got
May.
you.
And we're just getting warmed up.
We are. This is just the
Yes.
start. Can't wait.
When is it? There's a point in May when hopefully we'll have more.
Well, no, Warhammer Fest, we're thinking,
Yeah,
which is
that's
end of
May.
April.
No, that's May 1st.
I thought it was the end of April. I want to check that.
Yeah, end
Well-
of May. May 1st is
Okay.
end of April.
Okay.
Well, May 2nd is my birthday, so it's about right.
Oh, shit, Marco. There you go, buddy. Games Workshop heard. They didn't
Of
forget.
course they will.
We're
Of
getting you some
course.
sweetness this year.
They will. They shall.
Lucky boy. Too bad this didn't come in my Warhammer 40K. Well, I guess this is coming in my Warhammer 40K year. I haven't turned 41 yet. Shit, that's awesome. I didn't think about that. Oh,
Oh,
and it's coming just before Simon's Warhammer 40K year.
Yay!
Yay!
I just put this here to remind you
What?
how awesome
What is
the
it?
good old days were.
Oh, nice. Hold on, let me get this gone. You gotta tip it a little bit. Angle it. Don't make it flat. Put it on like a 45. Yes. There you go, friends. You're wondering what the heck a strangle web is? There's a strangle web from the bad old days. 2nd edition. Beautiful,
is it?
Simon. Thank you.
What do they call themselves now?
Still
The
Tower.
artist?
Still Tower. Yeah, go check out Still Tower on Instagram because he does custom lino cut art. I actually have a copy of that one. That's a nice one.
That's a really good one.
The dude
Yeah.
just had yeah, we're getting random here, but he had like the most cool thing where he sculpted and cast
Yes.
a slave,
A human Gretchen.
a human Gretchen slave who's naked, who just snug up a helmet and a gun, and if you wanted, you could contact him, and he will send you one for you to convert up. And I think that's
Put clothes on it, he said. Did you say are you going to do it? I immediately thought of you.
Yeah, of course.
Good man. Good man. It was made for you.
There we go. Link is in the chat.
I am asleep already.
All right, I got to go. Yeah, thank you all so much. This has been amazing. I was really excited to hear what you all thought about Tyranids because we have been bug brothers for years, decades. Oh my God, decades.
Decades,
and
yeah.
this is a momentous time. And I honestly am so glad that as these Tyranid models come out and we're talking about nostalgia, porn, that kind of stuff, like getting back to the good old days, this feels like the good old days of the three of us sitting around talking about biomorphs.net or whatever we were going to call it. The bad old days of the Creature Conference.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
And you know what? You know what? Is that the end of stream time? Please like and subscribe, anyone watching this. And to close us out, just like our really classy intro, I've got an outro, so you know when the Creature Conference is officially over.
Nice.
So Marco, Simon, Flynnhammer, thank you so much. Everyone in the chat, thank you. There's so many people here, I can't possibly name you all, but I really appreciate it. And we'll talk again in 2 weeks at this time. Actually, I'll just let the outro do it. Thank you
All right,
and good night.
Let
What?
me mute.
What?
Let's mute. Let's.
What? Flynn, what are you doing? Why am I hearing myself? Flynn? Oh, you're muting. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, bye, everybody. I'm going to mute.